Hello, and welcome to this episode of Psychic Medium Toni G. I want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to let you know that during a psychic reading, many times, the person that I'm talking to is asking questions or receiving information, and that information is also very valid for whomever is listening to the show. So not only do I hope you enjoy today's show, but I hope you get some pieces of information that might help you on your life path. Today, I have a very special guest, Elisa. Hi, Elisa. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me again.
Very brave of you to come on and get a live reading.
I've been brave a couple times now.
Yes, you have.
I enjoy spending time with you and learning more about what they have to say and my life's direction. So I always appreciate it.
There are so many people who are afraid to get a reading because they're afraid that they're going to hear something bad. And I always say to people, if there's something coming up, wouldn't you rather know so that you can possibly fix it before it happens or be prepared for it instead of being blindsided by it?
I'm absolutely that type of person.
So oftentimes, even if they say something like, oh, this has the possibility of happening, at least you're aware and you can take either those steps to prepare for it or to avoid it altogether. That, I think, is a wonderful thing because those up there, angels, guides, whatever we want to call them, they don't want us to suffer down here. Some people think that this planet, this plane, it's all about suffering and hardships, and it's really not. If we would just listen to our intuition, we could have this pretty miraculous life. Absolutely. The more we're connected and the more enmeshed we are with them, the better it gets for us. Absolutely. So let's start with one question, and we'll see where that takes us.
Okay, sounds good. So we always talk about my romantic life.
Yes.
And then recently I found love and I lost it that quick.
Okay. So I don't want you to look at it like you lost it, because we never lose anything. We have an experience for the amount of time that we were supposed to have that experience. Now, a lot of people aren't, I'm going to say this in a certain way. Some people are aware of Akashic records, or it can also be referred to as contracts because that's a very human term and something that we can understand here, or even agreements that we have made before we came in. And sometimes those agreements say we're going to meet this person and be with them for this long, we're going to learn what we need to learn, we're going to get over that hump, we're going to get elevated, whatever it is we need to get, and then we're going to move forward from that. I want you to know the situation that you are speaking of is not over yet. This person is going to re-enter your life, and even though you might not think so right now, you are going to accept this person back in again. But prior to doing that, I want you to have that conversation about if things get to this point again, how can we work together to make sure we can make it through it? Now, you would want to say right now you're not going to let this person back in because you don't want to suffer this pain again. You don't want to go through this again. I'm going to tell you the heart is the heart. Our head says one thing.
Don't I know it?
And our heart is going, no, it'll be okay. You can handle it. And your head is going, no, you can't. Don't go there. You're going to get burned again.
Well, you and I have known each other for years, and I never follow just my head. Like, I let my heart lead.
Absolutely. I entirely go with my heart. And if I get, we control our emotions, so we can be hurt to the extent we choose. We can.
I'm learning that.
Yes.
And before I would just be hurt and let it just take over, and I'm not doing that.
Isn't that amazing to have better emotional control and better just control in general of our mind and where we're going to allow our thoughts to go.
Some of that I attribute to you and I in our relationship over the last 2.5 years.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that you would say that. That's really kind. This person is going to come back in. There is going to be reconciliation. There is going to be reconnection. And
is there a time period on this?
Approximately a month. When it's
like we haven't talked since.
That's okay. Yeah. There is a lot of cleaning up this person had to do. There's a lot of ending in this person's house right now, so to say. There's a lot of
I
things
know they're going through a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are finalizing right now. That's really very stressful on a person, to have a lot of things that are finalizing and a lot of things that are changing. But you can be with the perfect person at an imperfect time, and it can be a mess. So, so what they're really saying is, when the opportunity comes around again, it's up to you where it goes. It's up to you if you decide that you want to completely let this go, move on, and meet somebody new. And if you choose that, you will, and that person will come in within a month and a half. But if you choose to reconcile, then that other person will not really present at this time. Either way you go, there's no right, there's no wrong. You're going to learn the same lessons. And I don't mean that, like when somebody says, oh, you're going to learn a lesson, we think it's a hard lesson. Yeah. But the lesson is always the same: self-love. The lesson is always the same: self-love.
Will I struggle with the things that are if we reconcile, will I struggle with the things that are going on in her life? Will that be too much for me at a certain time because I won't get any time? And yes. Will I don't know, like, will I want to choose the new and different person? Will the road be a little bit easier? So, I mean, this non-talking is giving me time to think about the stuff maybe I didn't want for myself.
Yeah, and let me just say this. Sometimes when we're separated with somebody, it really gives us the opportunity to look at the bigger picture that we would not have looked at before and say, listen, this is part of what I asked for. It's not everything I asked for. Mm-hmm. Is there a better option out there? Can I be in a better situation? Now, we can have feelings for a person, but that doesn't mean that that's the person.
Can you explain that?
Yes. We can have feelings for someone that comes into our life, and that might be a temporary fix or someone that helps us into a new situation. They're there to open something up, heal something for us, get us back on track again. It's like jobs, comparing relationships and jobs seems like, how could you compare them? Well, they're both business agreements. They really are. A relationship and a marriage is a total business agreement. You just
I always seem to hold up the contract really well.
But you're not picking people who can do the same for you.
Yeah,
you're picking people who aren't ready for that full-on commitment or aren't. If before we start a relationship, we look at this person and say, would I go into business with this person? Would I trust them with my business? Would I hand them the keys to my company? Would I hand them the codes to my safe and the passwords to the bank account of the business? And if
She's the first person in a while that I actually felt, what a wonderful person, and there's no red flags.
Right.
And yes, I would.
So that is all good. And maybe she came in to show you that there is someone like that and that there are more people like that, but possibly maybe not being sometimes they're saying, okay, you have this, but you didn't get this. Are you willing to settle? You know, and
She
even,
did say that. She doesn't want me to settle.
yeah, and even in business, sometimes we have to upgrade our business. We have to promote our business. We have to go in a new direction with our business. So we have to look at it always like a business. You know, at the end of the day, is your business being successful or is your business being unsuccessful? Are you getting what you want from your business or are you not?
I understand.
So do I. So we have to really look at it in that way. Now, if she comes back and you decide to go back into this situation with her, you have to have her commit to changing. You can't just go back in, and many times when we're going back into a situation, we're just so happy the person came back that we're willing to accept whatever. We have to say, okay, wait, let's renegotiate our terms here.
Yeah.
If you want to come back in, I need you to commit to this. And if you can't commit to that, then I need to be out of this situation.
Yeah. It's not fair to me.
No, it's absolutely not. Because we're in a relationship because we want love. And as women, we are emotional. Men are much more pragmatic, and they don't always have that emotion side to it. But two women can be very emotional together and have emotions kind of running amok at moments. And it's really, it's not that it's our fault, but it's also not our fault because we sometimes can't control certain aspects
of our biology.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. So we have to try to work within those parameters. Anyone entering into a relationship, first and foremost, must make sure that they are capable of having a fair relationship and capable of giving that fair amount of time and effort to the relationship. Otherwise, they just don't belong in a relationship.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
That's pretty much what happened.
Then that person isn't emotionally or physically ready to commit to a relationship, because when you really want something, you're ready and willing to put that time, effort, and everything else into it.
That was verbalized, but the actions.
Okay, so then you have to question and you have to be able to walk. If you go back into this situation, you have to say, this is what I expect. Don't say want or need. This is what I expect from our relationship. Don't say you. But this is my expectation of a relationship. If you can't meet the expectation of a relationship with me and what I need and want, then we need to just be friends from this moment forward.
Will she be coming to me back saying these promises to win me back? Or will it just be she's going to enter and then, I don't even know.
She's going to hope she can fulfill it, but I just feel like emotionally she's not in the right place to fulfill it.
But even when she enters again, when she wants to talk again, is it going to be, I'm really sorry I made a mistake? Or is it just, at least I know how nice you are and kind and sweet, and I know that if I even text you, everything's going to be great again?
No, I think she will. Yeah, I think there will be an apology. I think there will be a reconciliation. I think there will be communication and talks. But I also think you have to be able to read between the lines. If she says, I'm going to try, you know right there.
Yeah.
Either you do or you don't do.
Right.
There's no try. Either somebody can give you one night a week or they can't. And it doesn't take a psychic to know that.
Oh, no, I know.
So
The all or nothing scenario I'm not okay with. I'm sick of that.
And the
there
excuses.
Should be some gray.
Right. And there shouldn't be justifiable excuses, because if somebody really wants to be with you, they're going to find a way to be with you.
Right, I agree.
Regardless of, okay? Now, if you choose to go back into this situation and things are not going as planned from the beginning, you have to be willing to say, listen, I want to thank you for giving this a second opportunity, but I need to get out of this because I deserve what I want. I want a relationship.
Yeah.
And I understand where you are right now. Obviously, this isn't a good fit. And you have to be strong enough to walk away. Otherwise, it's just going to be a downward spiral. I feel like she might be able to follow through for a couple of months, but then after that, it's going to fall apart again. She just likes to use personal stuff as an excuse because she
know.
can't be personally responsible and show up the way she's supposed to. Now, it's a really
She
good
does,
thing.
but it's for only specific 2 people in her life.
Correct, because she doesn't want to get too close. She's afraid to get too close. Like, she can't have real feelings, it can't get real. Now, I am going to tell you, she did come in for a very specific purpose, and that purpose has been fulfilled. She came in to show you there is a better type of partner. There is a more stable or whatever type of partner.
Yeah.
And there are even people out there that are even, I don't want to use the term better or worse, but like better partners, like really good potential partners for you that are out there. So as you move forward, if you don't reconnect with this person, that's quite all right. You're going to be okay. And the next person will be even better. It's like a flight of steps. Here you are, here you are, here you are. Now you don't have to take every step. You can, skip a step and end up at this person once you accept, like, I love myself and I'm not going to settle for less. I love myself, this is what I want, and I'm not going to compromise my values.
I also have an issue with people feeling less than when they're with me because of how kind and good I am.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, sweetie. They feel, you are very strong in who you are, okay? You have a tremendous amount of love to give, and you are so kind and so good. And they don't feel, I want to use the word inadequate rather than less than, and they shouldn't. They can bring themselves up.
Yeah, I guess I use their words because they've...
That's, and listen.
You're too good for me, I'm this,
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm just going to tell you.
I worked hard for my stuff in life.
I call bull
Yeah.
poopy on that because you don't tell somebody you're too good for me. You say, this is a really good person, I'm going to work to be with this person. That's bull poopy. I'm just going to say...
It's happened a handful of times with different people.
Yeah.
It's not some random
Right.
comment.
But then we look at the type of person you're attracting, and we also look at how we can attract somebody who's more in alignment with you. People can't be fixed. So you have to,
I don't want to fix anyone anymore. I told you that last time we had this talk.
You can't. It's like real estate. Do you really, no matter how much money you put into a house, in the end, is it really, really worth it? Is it? No, because the value of the house doesn't go up in approximation to the amount of money you put in it. The house has the value no matter what. This is its value no matter how much you put into it.
Right.
So you have to find a house that is already, you have to find a new build. Something that's already there, that's solid, because you're solid, You're a good person, and you should be attracting that to you. But as long as we have that, I want to save someone, you have enough pets You have enough rescue pets that
Yeah,
you
no
save.
kidding.
You don't need a partner. You don't need to save a partner. You don't need somebody.
I don't want to.
Yeah, and you
ever
need
again.
somebody like you're here, they're here, and you lift each other up incrementally
Yeah.
rather than somebody who is just going to be someone who shows up as they are, which is not wrong, but then says, "Oh, she's up there. No, I'm gonna jump," instead of working to get up there.
Well, that's what really just happened.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine. Sometimes it doesn't happen to us. Sometimes it happens for us. If we can't get out of an unhealthy situation or a situation that is about to become unhealthy for us,
Yeah.
if we're sacrificing and we're not getting what we want, believe me, our angels will move heaven and earth to get us out of that situation. Now, we can fight to stay in it as long as we want and suffer, but we shouldn't. Because I always like to say, and there's always a better man or woman. You know, God has a better plan with a better man or a better plan with a better woman. We don't need to stay stuck in an unhappy situation, especially if you're not married. If you're not married, you don't even have to, you know, have somebody give you permission to walk away. You can just be like, "Thank you very much. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so happy for all the value."
Gave 100%, and
Yeah.
none of this is on me. So
Yeah,
that's actually
absolutely.
helped me
Yeah.
too through this.
And
but
not everybody that comes into our life is there for the long haul. Not everybody deserves to be there for the long haul. Some people come in specifically, just specifically, to help us over a hump, to get us out of a
right,
slump.
I'm sure that's what I did for her too.
Both of you, yeah. It's to show us what we really want, and to, if this person isn't there for everything we want, to be able to move into that area where we can get what we want from the next person.
If I choose to not go back into it, are they expressing anything where at least
It's a better choice.
Am I fixing her, so to speak? I'm not. But did I at least inject some things where she felt good about life again, or?
Yeah, but that's not your job.
I know.
Because anything we give to a person is extremely temporary. Anything, like, we have to be full, right? We have to love ourselves completely. Because if we don't, and we meet somebody, and then we're mistaking their love as filling us up, which is a mistake, then when they go, they take all of that, and we feel even worse than we did before. Mm-hmm. We have to be full from the beginning. We have to have that pure love for ourselves and others from the beginning. And when we do, then when they go, we're still solid, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for her, you may have been able to make her feel better in certain areas, and she may have been able to make you feel better in certain areas. But then when you separate, it's depleted again. So you have to come from that place of a full tank to begin with, and not worry about if you fixed something in somebody else or gave something to somebody else. They have to come fully equipped. Listen, you're not buying no hoopty, okay? You're not buying no broke down car that you're trying to put, you're taking out the cassette player and trying to put in, you know, what is that called? Bluetooth, I don't know. I don't know the technical terms. But the idea is buy the fully loaded car. Get the vehicle or the house or whatever that's already done, already there. Because
it would just be nice to know that I made some sort of impact.
Oh, always. Love always does. Love always makes an impact. Love always helps each and every person, and you can only come from that space of love. And when you come from that space of love, you've done your best. And yes, by all means, it hurts when something is over, but it's like losing a pet. It's very, very painful to lose a pet, but then at some point we say, I'm just so grateful I was able to have all those memories with that pet, and then I know it was their time to go. And we would have both suffered if they would have stayed any longer. Yeah. And so then we move on to the next pet or the next situation, and then we have a really good moving forward situation. And we have very a better situation because we've learned from this situation. We've learned that we don't need to stay in a situation that's unhealthy or unhappy.
But they're expressing maybe reconciliation isn't the right path.
Everything is a choice.
Right.
Just because somebody's going to come back, it doesn't mean we have to accept that back in our life, especially if we know their circumstances have not changed.
Right.
If somebody...
So it'll still stay hard.
Probably.
Yeah.
Listen, if somebody has certain characteristics, if they haven't done work on that, gone for therapy or gotten healing or however we want to say that, the circumstances are going to stay the same.
Right.
They're not going to...
You're just
Very
with that
few
person
people,
again, but it's
right.
the same situation, a different time.
Exactly. They can change for a minute, but they're going to slide back into their protective mode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not up to you to get them out of their protective mode. That's on them to do that.
Yeah.
Now, as you move forward, there is another person coming in, and one of the biggest things for you moving forward is prior to getting into a situation, don't talk about your past situation, but go into it and say, what are your expectations of a relationship? What is your time frame? What do you like to do in your spare time? How much spare time do you have? What are you...
Do more research, so to speak.
Yes, but the biggest mistake we make in a relationship, especially in the beginning, is we say what we want, but we're not listening to what they're responding to. We're not hearing their words. They might agree, oh yeah, but we're not letting them tell us. And when we let somebody else do the talking, 90% of the time, if we let them do the talking, we'd be doing the walking.
Oh my gosh. I
Boom,
didn't do a lot
bang,
of talking.
Bomb.
She did a lot of talking. I did a lot of listening.
But did you? Because there were cues then that would have told you, if you think back to that conversation, those conversations, you would pick up on what was missing from what she said. It's not what people say all the time, it's what they don't say that is key.
Well, I'll have to think back.
Now, if you don't reconnect with her, that's perfectly okay. There's always a better plan. And there is somebody coming in about a month and a half. Now, I'm not going to say this is your ever after person. But again, this person is very sweet and kind, has very good intentions, but you have to really be solid going into this about what your expectations are. Don't tell her, tell the universe, and let the universe bring that to you and unfold it. And don't compromise and don't settle. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for
It's been
having me.
such an honor and a pleasure to have you on.
It always happens when I need it. When some changes happen in my life, all of a sudden, here we are again.
And I love that. And I love you as a guest because you are just such a sweet, kind, wonderful person. And I love having you on because you open the world to new views too.
Well, thanks,
Just
Toni.
by being you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us and for allowing us to be part of your life path. It's so wonderful. Thank you.
Well, we'll see you again next time.
Absolutely, maybe literally.
Yeah, very much.
And I want to thank you for joining us today for this episode of Psychic Medium Toni G. You can get more information about me on my website, tonig.info. There are ways to schedule appointments or just read more about the work that I do. Until next time, thanks and have an absolutely amazing day.